You know, I've come on here and I've talked about the AI systems that people are kind of back and forth about, the chat AIs and all that. And now we even have, and I guess they came out just a bit before the chat AIs really, took off and really became a little bit more popular. And that is the art AIs, or the image to image AIs, or the text to art AIs, or the text to video AIs, and so on, music and everything. And what I seem to notice with some of these, if not most of them, is that a majority are indeed free. There's, no denying that. But they're only free with a catch. That catch basically being that you have to subscribe to a higher level. Like you can get decent features and everything on the free end of things after you sign in with your Google or Facebook accounts or whatever. You can get some decent amenities. But when it comes to basically, like, let's say, a full on presentation, full on tools and all that, no limitations whatsoever, you got to pay a fee. And that's understandable because when you really think about it, what these fees are truly about is trying to help improve the system. It's trying to help improve it, in the long run. That's what it's trying to do. It's trying to improve it in the long run, which, by doing so, enables the people behind it, the companies behind it, to input more information, that is needed for it to generate, you know, uh, information in return, to the consumer, to the user that's utilizing the system. And in the long run, that's actually a good thing. Whether we want to agree with, AI's presence in this world or not, that's actually a good thing. It really is. But, but, like I said, one of the AIs that people talk about is the art ones, and of course the text to music and all that. And I've tried some of them recently. The text to music one, it's okay, but I think you just need certain, ones out there that probably provide a little bit more than, what you can get, otherwise. I think one person says they use DAL or DDV5 or something, so I got to look into that. But what was interesting, what was interesting is another one that people talk about as, being good, being in that top upper echelon, if you will, is Noel AI. Now I know there's Jasper, I know there's Bing, that have certain, text to image AIs or image to image AIs, and that's fine. But one person on DeviantArt said that they had made a subscription, or basically, yeah, they made a subscription towards Noel AI because they wanted to, because people were talking about it, and they wanted to see if maybe it lives up to the hype. And basically, what it asked them to do, via text, and I guess given as much information as it could, is to create an artwork of either April O'Neil. Sorry for the pause there. I was going to think about what I was going to say. Um, a picture of April O'Neil as a mutant turtle or whatever, or or create an image of Mona Lisa from the 1990s TMNT. And what they got was pretty decent. It was pretty good results. There's no doubt, especially from the input that they put in there. However, however, for me, when I saw this, it got me thinking, maybe I should try that. So while I was on the road coming back yesterday with my brother-in-law and his son from Red Hawk Casino, I decided to use my phone to do that. And I used kind of tried out some of the programs that are related to that, like Noel and Open and Dream and whatnot, and they all were pretty decent. They do have the limitations, like I say, when they're free. And the one thing I did notice is some of them do give you they're different price range, if you will, when it comes to subscriptions. Some could be $5, some could be 10, which isn't too bad. Nothing out of the pocket there. Nothing truly lost. and some could be even higher. Some could be like, 20 bucks, 25, and maybe even 30. I guarantee you there are some that have $100 subscriptions that people may or may not use because they want whatever that software AI offers, for $100 a month or $100 a year or whatever. But getting to what I'm saying, but getting to what I'm trying to say here, basically, you know, basically, like I said, I tried it out and they were pretty good. So what I decided to do, um, just very briefly, I decided to subscribe to Noel AI. It was $10, that's it. And I tested it out for a little bit, and I decided to unsubscribe basically within the span of 20 minutes. Just unsubscribe to Noel AI, and still keep my current subscription for the month so I can test it out. But basically, just not really put put much, I guess you could say, thought into it or anything. But the more you learn about it, because a lot of these AI systems are, softwares that are different in their own ways. Some of them you got to just, when they ask for prompts, sometimes the prompts could be short summaries, of what you want or what you're looking for, keywords, and everything that you can put in there for them to come up with some kind of answer or story or idea artistically and everything that you want to see. They're all different in their own ways. They're all different in their own ways. And when I tried Noel out today, of course, when you subscribe, it gives you a certain amount of, I guess you could say, credits. Like when you do the $10 one, you get 1,000. When you do the $15 one, I think you get 1,000. And then when you do the $20 one, you get like 10,000 or something like that. So I decided to use, like I said, get the $10 one. And just out of curiosity, I was like, okay, I've always wanted to know. I always wanted to know, okay, you know, what would it look like, if we had a female sledgehammer like a video, or at least, those iconic scenes of fruit face, claymation, and all that being remade from the '86 one, but with a female face instead. So I looked it up basically, and one of the things they do ask you to do to help out is provide an image. So I Googled, looked online, got some of the imagery I needed, those iconic moments, and along with the keyword prompt descriptions, put them in there. And to my surprise, I got some decent results. And I looked at this and I was like, well, you know what? If you know what, down the line, if AI, if the text to AI and all that really evolves, with art and video, that from a video's perspective, if Noel AI goes down that route down the line, and I have no doubt they probably will, or whoever does, with a similar, with a similar presentation, I looked, I saw the images I was given, I was like, well, excuse me, but if an AI system like Noel can show us that, hey, even in, by description, text, and, supplementary, image help from, us, the users, if they can show us that through what we are, kind of giving information to them to curate with, you know, if they could show us just by what we're typing in and sharing with them from an image perspective, if they can make something look, like, possible and believable, then why can't a studio of any kind or record label get with their female artists or singers and say, hey, we know your song here sounds creative, sounds like, it sounds like from a, atmospheric standpoint that it could take place in a land of wonderment and, imagination. Why can't they just sit down with that person and say, hey, why don't we turn this into the next Sledgehammer and do some kind of like a homage, iconic scene by scene, recreation of those scenes, but to your song? I mean, why can't they sit down and do that? Because if something like Noel AI and other AIs can pretty much say, oh, okay, you want us to do that? No problem. Give us the information you need, keywords, description, share some imagery if you have to, and we'll go from there. And if they're willing to give me, and I'm sure anybody else that wants to do it, that kind of, I guess you could say, imagery in return, then it's like, again, then again, it's like, why can't why can't actual music studios and labels, do that for the established or if not up and coming female artists? If it's that easy for an AI to do it just by the stroke of, some keys and everything for, keywords, that, as well as sharing of imagery, on what you want to see be recreated, then why can't it be done in real life? That is what gets me. This is why a lot of people always talk about the fact that when they, just put like in a summary or keywords or even write up an idea and everything they would like to see turned into an outline or a story or artistically, this is why, depending on the programs they use, like ChatGPT, Bard, Write Jasper, novelai, Open Dream, whatever, whatever suits your fancy, it's no wonder they always sometimes, depending on, how they utilize it, whether they subscribe to it or not, whatever subscription they actually subscribe to, as well, it's no wonder they give it a lot of heaps of praise, even though a lot of these, as I've mentioned before, are still in the infancy. That being mostly the writing, like ChatGPT, Write, and Bard, and others like them, they're in the infancy. Well, I look at things like Noel, AI, Open, AI, Dream, Story Cube, I think to an extent, and others as sort of being in that Head Start pre-K level of, of evolving. Like basically, they got like a step. Like basically, they got a head start, coin a phrase, on evolving what they're learning, thanks to the people behind them. That over time, they might basically become, more, utilized and popular than, let's say the the AI writing tools and everything. But we'll have to see over time. But again, as I've said before, these things are they're just like little children right now. They're infants. They're basically ranging from being in that range of, from a age perspective, a human age perspective. They are basically children slash infants that are still learning, the ways. They're still learning how to do this. They're still learning how to do that. And to me, you know, whether you agree with it or don't, it learning what to do and everything, as a result over time and what it will be allowed to grow, it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better to the point that, hey, if we don't get a female artist doing a send up to the Sledgehammer music video of 1986 to the own song in the near future, then the way AI is going right now, we could just end up doing it ourselves and it'll be just as good, if not better. That's how things are right now. But yeah, we have to remember these things are still beginning, still learning, just like little kids do when they start out. But let me know what your thoughts are. What are your favorite art AIs out there and chat ones? And until then, talk to you later.